Welcome to Castle Hunters. I'm your host, Garrett, and today we're going to be showing three castle homes to our participants, Molly the fifth and George the sixth. And let's get the show on the road. Let's start looking through some houses. So this is our first castle, and as you can see, it has the parapets, that George wanted, practical, for defense of the castle. Also comes equipped with a moat, ain't gonna be getting past a lot of those defenses very easily. Now, for Molly, I had you in mind for this. It's connected to a town with lots of merchants and craftsmen, and there's a pretty good blacksmith also available. Now, you wanted to know about the torture chambers. The torture chambers are completely renovated, completely up to date, state of the art. They don't have any blood on them. So all in all, I think this is a pretty good fit for you. Again, this is castle number one. We're going to be going and showing castle number two, and castle number three. I really like the moat. Wow, castle number one just looks absolutely fantastic from a defense perspective. I mean, what you got this 4-foot moat. You don't get that on a lot of things. I'm really liking this one, Molly. Really liking this one. And, the parapets, ooh, boy. Haven't seen parapets since, I visited my cousin's castle. Could really put a lot of archers up there. The number of serfs that comes with the place, pretty okay with that. I think, a little more would be nice, but, that's more Molly's deal. She sort of runs the household. I kind of take over the defense of the castle. I think, so far of the ones that we've seen, castle number one is definitely my go-to. Doesn't seem like Molly is too enthralled by it though, so we'll have to see. All right, I get it, George. House number one, you want it to be defensible. That's very, very okay, and you want the moat and stuff, but I don't know. Think about all the mosquitoes. I don't like mosquitoes. And the walking distance to the market is quite a nice feature of this particular castle. But I kind of have a feeling, a lot of the options are going to be very similar. We live in feudal times, so everywhere is sort of rather close to a keep like this. I think the number of serfs definitely serves, this house grade A, in that direction in terms of just household upkeep. I'm happy to know about the torture room. That's how can you have a castle without a torture room? But George, I think I'd really like to consider some more options. So let's see what house two has to offer. So castle number two, it's a little bit different from castle number one. It doesn't quite have as much space as we saw in the first castle, but it does come fully stocked with provisions for a siege, if that became of you. There's no moat, but there are spots where you could pour tar over people invading your castle. Because again, George, you have the practicality of defense in mind. But if you do look at the stained glass windows, as Molly put in for a request, it is beautiful, beautiful stained glass windows. Not stained with blood, of course, but created by the local craftsmen and whatnot. I do have to say though, I'm not the biggest fan of castle number two, but the fact that the village is within walking distance means that our tax collectors would have a really easy job of collecting. I think that's definitely a boon, Molly. Yeah, not really as excited about castle number 2 as I was about castle number 1, obviously due to just the defense concerns. I mean, the parapet's not that small. The torture chamber, it's a run-of-the-mill torture chamber. You got your stockades, you got your yeah. So I'm on board. This is a group decision, but not as much of a fan as I was of castle number 1. There's no moat, which I think is important. I think it really raises the property value and the sellback value if you have a nice moat. So yeah, I think this house is just oh my god, I can't even express it. It's the stained glass windows are one thing. I mean, look at that. I understand that there's no real arrow slits to fire arrows out of, but I mean it's walking distance to the beach. If you ever want to go and go swimming, yeah, I think I like house number 2. This is my favorite one we've seen so far. When we make it to castle number 3, you'll see. I think it's kind of a mix of both castle 1 and castle 2. It comes equipped with 20 serfs already in service. They come with the castle, indentured servants. I can't get enough of them, right? When we look at the outside, it's nice brimstone, so it's very pleasant on the eyes. Unfortunately, the torture chamber hasn't been updated in a while, so it is currently fitted with some stains. But I'm sure that with enough renovation, a little bit of a fixer-upper, you could totally get that back on track. So, anyway, those are the options. Castle 1 seemed to be, what you, George, what you wanted, and Molly. You seem to have been going with Castle 2, so I think Castle 3 is a nice option for both of you. I think it fits a lot of the niches that you guys asked about. Wow, castle number 3, I mean, I am loving that brimstone. I mean, you don't get brimstone like that on many castles. I mean, with that kind of brimstone, we would be the talk of the town. And I mean, talk about dragons like attacking your place. I mean, brimstone. That's what you want to have. And I think from an art director standpoint, Molly probably agrees. Having that brimstone, real nice added value to the estate of the place. Definitely going to be a hard decision for me between number 3 and number 1. But it might be just that this is the nice compromise that Molly and I needed. So Garrett, definitely good job on picking these three castles out. Castle number 3 is, I have to say, has the best of both worlds. I mean, that brimstone looks fantastic. And I really hear what you're saying, George, about the dragons. Not that we've ever really been attacked by a dragon, but it's kind of a nice sense of security to know that we will be able to defend ourselves if such an occurrence did happen. So yeah, I'm thinking number 3 is definitely for me. If all things considered, I think number 2 was more my boat. Number 1 was more your boat, but number 3, definitely a nice mix between both of them. Even though it's the torture dungeon may be a fixer-upper, I think we could kind of make it work.
A couple months later, we're checking up with Molly and George to see how they're enjoying their new castle. We renovated the torture room, and we decided on an open concept. It really adds to the airiness of, the dungeons. I think both Molly and I agree. Yeah. It's been a really nice ride from beginning to end of just this whole purchasing process. It was really simplified.